Hello, I'm Michelle Neal. 5 weeks ago I had colostomy surgery. It was a bit more involved than that, a lot more going on in my abdomen than just needing the colostomy. But I had that done and I had the rectal stump retained, just in case, things don't work out and I decide to have it reversed and have it a resection. So I've got the rectal stump. Now, I want to make this video because it's a subject that I've not seen much on at all on YouTube. The emotional and physical impact of the mucous discharge that you can experience from the rectal stump. Now, I had heard about it. It was mentioned at appointments that I had, or you may suffer, not suffer, you may have some mucous discharge. It was said in a factual way, but it didn't invite or open a discussion about that or the impact of it. I'd done some reading on it, and it says, you might have this. And it said how to manage it, what to do, but nowhere could I find anything about the emotional and physical impact that it can have on some people. Some people might only have it infrequently and it might be easy. They just feel this sensation as if they want to pass a stall. Of course, there's nothing coming out because you've got a colostomy. They might go and sit on the toilet and the mucus comes away easily. They're not troubled by it. But there are people who are troubled by it, and I happen to be one of them. So for the first 3 weeks after the surgery, obviously my body's recovering from the impact of the surgery. I didn't have any mucus output. I didn't have any urge or anything. And I thought, oh, yippee, I'm going to be okay here. And then suddenly everything started cramping and I would rush to the loo and nothing happened. And nothing happened, and nothing happened. And I was getting quite distressed. I thought, well, I know that I could use a suppository because I'd read about it. So I sent my husband off and he got some, and that was distressing in itself, just trying to put one of those in. If it doesn't go in, you've got to try another one. And so after the second attempt, it went in, but it didn't retain in the rectum for very long, 5 minutes. And I know it needs to be about at least 10, if not 15 minutes. So of course, I only cleared part of the mucus build-up. So 4 days later, the same thing happened again. And then 3 days later, the same thing happened again. Of course, I was using the suppository again. And then 2 days after that one, the same thing happened again. And I thought, this is crazy. I'm in pain. I've got all this deep backache, right low down. You feel like you're sitting on a golf ball or something. And you've got the cramping going on. And it's very, very distressing. If you get this is my personal experience. And I just want to share it more for just to let people, know that this could happen. I had no idea that it could be quite like this. Yesterday was dreadful, and this morning I woke up at 3 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock I put the suppository in, and I managed to retain that one for about 12 minutes, which I was very thankful for, and it seems to have done the trick. All the pain has disappeared. I feel normal down there instead of there's this discomfort that it becomes, it takes over your whole emotional being, your well-being, and because it's distressing and you just want it to go away, but you know that the bowel isn't going to trigger like it does, the rectal stump's not going to trigger like the bowel with peristalsis movement. And you just have to sit there and just wait for it to gently come out, because there's nothing to trigger it. you just got to sit there and it just sort of come away gently, you know, in little drips or whatever. Sorry to be a bit graphic, but it is a subject that I have not seen much on. And I thought, this is something I want to make a video on, and to reach people that, you know, may be struggling with this issue and don't know where to turn, don't know who to turn to. You know, even when you talk to, you know, people in the medical profession there to help you, it's still, you want the lived experience of somebody who's gone through it and has, you know, come through a traumatic week and a half. You know, I think, yeah, it's about a week and a half this has been going on. And learning how to cope and how to manage the situation you're in, and know that it will improve. It's improved significantly today, which I'm very grateful for. But I know that, you know, if it happens again, I know what to do. And, you know, if I keep, you know, applying those principles, those methods, despite my distress, I know it will, you know, the mucus will come out and the pain will disappear. But this, you know, we know that this could be lifelong, and it's learning how to manage it. So, yeah, I hope this helps anybody who's struggling with this particular thing, because I say it's not talked about much. And I think that, you know, talking about rectal stump mucous discharge is very important for us people who have got stomas, you know, whether it's the ileostomy or the colostomy, where you've retained the rectal stump. So I will leave this video there, and I hope it helps. And take care. Bye for now.